Coming at you from a couple of stools in the low-class studios. This is a feminist and a comedian walk into a bar. What's up, guys? I am your host this week, Jackie Manti, a feminist. And tonight, I am sipping on, I saved it to pop it open for you.
Nice.
The cool, refreshing taste of a Starbucks refresher. I've never seen these before, but I just saw it at Walgreens. They might be old. I don't know. But it's real coconut water, real fruit juice, and caffeine from, it says green coffee. But I imagine that's just like,
Unroasted beans,
yeah,
I guess.
I guess. Well, I'm going to try it. I got the black cherry limeade.
How is it? Oh, not a good face. Is it like sour?
It's good. It
it
tastes
sour?
like, no, it's more just, it's very black cherry-ish. It's very heavy on the black cherry. It just tastes like a black cherry pop, what you would expect.
Is there a lot of sugar in it?
1 gram.
That's it? Does it have like artificial sugars in it?
Oh, shit. 19 grams.
Okay. I mean, it's not awful.
That's not that bad.
Compared to a pop, it's still kind of a lot.
And it's 25% juice.
Starbucks is funny.
Oh, it says they have B vitamins in it.
Starbucks mostly makes like shit. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't even drink coffee. How do you know that?
Because like just every drink is just like 800 grams of sugar. It's just like,
oh yeah, like
you know
they're
I mean?
selling you candy.
I don't know. It's like kind of like yeah, but that's what I mean. But it's kind of like it started like the kind of like
latte
gourmet coffee trend in terms of like, or maybe they mainstreamed it is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But then it's like, who goes in there? Like I'm saying, like if you just do you get like when you go to there, like when you're just like you just want a coffee.
Like what's my Starbucks order?
Yeah. Do you get like an Americano or something with espresso?
But I'm so trashy. I'm just like I just want a tall coffee.
Okay, but like is their coffee good? Like
yeah.
Like better than average.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like who gets that?
Who like gets it like
either coffee
like
or espresso
or
drinks. Like even like a latte at least is literally just like
oh yeah, most
espresso
people are
and
buying
milk.
Those gourmet.
You know what I mean? Like
like
espresso and milk, that's standard. Black coffee, you know, even a fucking what's the other one as a latte? I always forget. But you know, like cafe latte, I think. Or is that the same thing?
Faole.
I don't know, but you know what I mean? Anything where it's just like coffee.
I like how you just said it different.
Coffee and foam,
Cafe
or
latte.
coffee and milk, or coffee and cream. You know, like I feel like each variation of like whether it's steamed milk or regular milk, like that's fine. You're like still at 2 ingredients. Or if you just do shots of espresso or just like black coffee like you get, or you probably add cream. But either way, like, but who's getting that now? And especially the last 10 years, who's getting that?
People like
they're
me.
getting like the unicorn. What is that thing called? Not necessarily just the unicorn one, but like, what's their drink that like 13-year-old girls get?
Vanilla frappe.
The frappe. It's like a milkshake.
Well, and the cafe mocha is like coffee, but mostly chocolate.
Yeah, it's basically like hot chocolate with like a little caffeine.
You know what's super cute? When I take my niece to Starbucks, I get her the vanilla frappe, no caffeine, no coffee.
But it doesn't even have coffee in it? I thought it was just essentially a milkshake.
I think so.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it's become
with whipped cream on top.
become just like an ice cream shop. You know what I mean? That people work at. And then like I said, like everything they sell, like they sell like ice brewed coffee in like the grocery stores, and they sell these things, but it's just like
Starbucks has such a good brand though,
soda.
because but you associate it with quality. I do.
I guess, but is that quality? Because that seems literally just like a Diet Coke.
Sure. I mean,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah, but it feels healthy because it says it's got B vitamins.
That's kind of, I guess that's what I'm saying. You're kind of nailing it. I'm saying that their coffee, like their bean brewed coffee, and their espresso, like their, you know, whatever, you know, espresso machine made espresso, like those two main pillar and things, they do seem quality. So again, like like you're right, I don't drink coffee, but it seems like for you, if we're on the road and you want coffee, I'll look for like a local place. But if we're in a hurry and we don't really know where we are, it's easy just to Google Starbucks because like you know there's going to be one somewhere close because they're everywhere, and you know it's probably going to have a drive-through. It's probably going to be open. Like it's like it's a staple, and it's of quality,
You
right?
know it'll be consistently good.
But I'm just saying again, not as like a drinker of it, I guess just an observer, but also like an observer of what people tell me. Like everything besides those two things is not exceptional, I would say. Like everyone that's had like whatever.
I don't know though, because I've had frappes and cafe mochas and cafe au laits at like a Tim Hortons, and it's not nearly as good. It's
I
watered
don't
down.
know.
It's
You
like,
think so?
yeah,
I don't know. I don't buy it.
I do.
Especially that. You
And
think
I
that's
drink
of
it.
quality?
Justin, a refresher drink from the corner aisle of Walgreens is very different from
But
what you're
still,
ordering
just
in
but it's
store.
as their brand, and I'm just like, just stay in your lane. Just do coffee.
I don't know.
I don't know. They're making like $1 billion.
Their lane is to make money.
I know. I'm just a dumb artist that thinks you should have integrity and like not fucking give everyone diabetes.
I mean, 19 grams of sugar, bro.
But it's just
It
because.
might be vitamins.
But it's like that pivot that I guess makes me sick. Is that you start on quality, and then you establish that. And yeah, you could say, well, like, yeah, that's the business move. Is like, you know, for a decade they're like, we're quality, and then once they get trust, here's Diet Coke, call it refresher, and we'll put our dumb fucking green lady on it. And now you know there's fucking 40-year-old women going like, you know, I used to drink soda, but now I just have 3 refreshers with lunch, and they're gonna fucking die alone in 20 years. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, but it has coconut water,
you're getting scammed.
grapefruit juice from concentrate, apple juice, lime juice. I mean, green coffee bean extra. It's better than pop.
It is not.
I like hearing you say milk. You say milk and not milk.
Where do you think like Diet Coke gets its
I know,
caffeine
Justin,
from?
I know. I'm just saying, I already told you. I know that it's good branding, and that's what I bought it.
That's what just makes. And again, like that, like I fully admit.
I also liked its green pop top.
That's what I'm fully admitting. I'm not talking as a capitalist. Like like when I just said their business model, I'm sure everyone was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. It's smart." I'm like, technically, it's smart because it works, but it seems just like evil to me. You know, it's like just sell good coffee and make $10 million instead of sending everyone garbage and make dollars and making the world a worse place.
I mean, I would argue they're not making it a worse place. They have out of work people to.
Okay, I can't talk about this anymore.
And they, they
Just
do fair
introduce me
trade
and ask me what I'm
coffee.
sipping on.
With me, as always, is cynic comedian Justin Golak.
Hey,
What are you sipping on?
I'm sipping on a Lone Star.
Let me crush your dreams.
Lone Star doesn't sell a fucking,
a hope and a prayer.
It doesn't sell like everything's bigger refresher. You know what I mean? It's just good. It's just a good old American brewed lager. Probably a lager or an ale, I guess. You know, it's good. It's like PBR, but better. I don't know if I like Lone Star more than like PBR, or if it just tastes better because it comes in bottles.
Bottle is always better. And, sometimes I think it's just good to like switch up your cheap beer of choice sometimes.
It reminds me of like, you know what I like? I like it because it reminds me of like a Miller High Life, not in flavor but in feel, which is
why you're drinking a Miller High Life, not flavor.
What? Oh well, no. I mean, like I don't mind the way it tastes. Like I like High Life. I like Lone Star.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like Pabst. I don't dislike it. I think it's okay. It's just always what they have at like a bar for cheap. But I feel like more places are getting like High Life, which I dig. Or in Chicago, they have Old Style, which I dig. Old Style. Here's the thing. It's like I do like light beer. I've on this podcast, I've exalted the Tecate Light, which is essentially like it's basically like a beer LaCroix. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a little bit of beer essence and then just like a lot of sparkly water taste. But it gets you drunk and it's very refreshing. And so for me, like a Tecate, like I like a light beer. You know what I mean? Because I could polish off like 12 of those at a cookout and probably still drive home. You know what I mean? Like
it's like you wrung out a wet rag from the bar.
No,
Tecate Light.
I like my LaCroix. If LaCroix started making beer.
LaCroix's like wringing out the towel I used to wipe down the table after I chopped fruit.
What did I saw like a meme that someone posted that's something like LaCroix is like if right before you took a sip of sparkling water, someone shouted out a fruit,
Yeah.
and so you had that flavor in your mind as you were sipping on it.
I saw that.
So I don't have a problem with light beer, but sometimes I want a cheap beer. But I'm maybe at like I don't know, like I'm just hanging. I'm just gonna, or like, oh, I just want like a burger and a beer. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, we're on a patio. I want to order like a beer. You know what I mean? Like I just want one. Um, and that's why I like a High Life, or if they would have it, like which a lot of places in Chicago don't. But if I lived in Texas, I do a Lone Star because it's not a light beer, so it's like what I mean. Like it's got some body to it, but I feel like High Life and Lone Star they're smooth. They're not light, but they're smooth. So it's very sippable, very refreshing. I think old styles like that. I think PBR it's just too like bitter and heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
You don't give a shit.
I don't know.
Come on,
I haven't drank light beer
I'm trying
in
to
forever,
talk. We
though.
get to talk about your refresher.
You talked
I
about
know.
my
Let me now. I
refresher.
want to do 10 minutes on Lone Star.
I feel like here's a great segue into our plugs. If you want to
You're
hear
not
Justin
yes-anding me.
talk about Lone Star in the past 10 episodes, go to FemComPod.com.
Oh, you're a real cunt. That was a good transition.
Did you figure out the little thing on the cap?
Oh, I didn't even actually look at it yet.
So Justin will post a photo of the cap. They have like little pictograms on the bottom of each label, which I think personally is the coolest thing about Lone Star more than the taste.
It is super cool. You know what? There's a bar at North.
Mm-hmm.
It's over on like North and Ashland in Chicago, and they have Lone Star beer. It's one of the few. I don't really know any other bars that sell Lone Star in Chicago. I'm sure. I was gonna say like, I don't know. Basically, I'm sure there has to be, but I don't know of them. So that's like a thing. Like if I'm drinking like just a couple, 2, 3 beers, I'll usually get Lone Stars there. And they just pop the tab or pop the cap and just toss it. I feel like most bars that serve Lone Star, since it is like in the north, it's kind of like a thing, like a specialer thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like bars I've been to besides that north, and it's a great bar. I'm not shitting on it. I'm not shitting on its wonderful bartenders. I'm just saying it's a little strange to me. Most times I've gotten outside of Texas, most times I've gotten a Lone Star because I'm sure in Texas they're just sick of it because in Texas it's available like PBR is available. But like up north, every time I've been to a bar that has Lone Star and I'm like, yeah, can I get a Lone Star? They pop it by hand and they go, would you like the cap? Because they know it has a pictogram.
Oh.
At North, they just pop it and drop it. And then, like, I don't want to be a weird guy that's like, can I have the cap?
I'm going to need that cap.
Because then if they don't know, which they can't know because they're tossing it,
I feel
like
way.
they're going to be like, why do you want the cap?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that would be like a good way. And guys out there, it would be a good way to hit on a bartender.
Yeah, that's true.
Because she'd be like, why do you want the cap? Because
like,
there's nothing better than the
subtle conversation.
I think
starter.
1A, like the best thing is just to be a cool, smooth, good-looking guy. So you just say a cool thing.
Barring that.
But barring that, what's always good is the swap, because it's like you judo her anti-momentum against you. Like you get some momentum coming against
like,
you.
What? You
and then
know?
you flip it, and then it's towards you. Like so you've kind of like use it, kind of like a fastball pitcher. Like he throws real fast.
I don't get any of these.
So the fastball pitcher throws fast, so that's good because it's harder to hit. But if you hit it, you have that built-up inertia of the ball, and then when you hit it, like you're more like it's easier to hit a home run off of.
To score.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I hate you, but you know what I mean. I don't know. Like that's maybe a bad analogy too. But like the point is like, you tell the bartender like it's a cute little bartender. And she goes, "You got like a Lone Star, okay?" And then she pops it, and right when she gets it off, she's like, "Can I actually get the cap?" And she's like, "You want the cap? Yeah." So she's like not into it, and then you go like, "Yeah, you do know like Lone Star has like a little picture." What do you mean? But it's like, and then like you sure you're like, what do you think it is? And then you sit there, you talk about, it, you solve it together. You just showed her a cool thing. You know what I mean? You solve it quick, show her that you're smart. It's a good move, solid move.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that with my Snap.
What do you mean?
Snapple has questions or riddles on the bottom of the cap.
You're going to post it on Twitter and see if people can solve it?
No, I'm just going to hit on the deli guy. I'm going to make him open my Snapple.
Yes, I don't think it works the same way.
No, actually, it's not Snapple. What am I thinking of? The little Nantucket juices.
Snapple has the facts, though.
Snapple has facts, and like, I think the Nantucket stuff has little like riddles.
Nantucket nectar. Here's what I'll do. If
This
there's
is what sobriety can bring you guys.
if we're at North together,
Snapple
which
fun
we've been
times.
before, I'll have you go order. If there's a male bartender, I'll have you go order a Lone Star for me. Like I'll stand away.
We'll test it and see.
And you can do you can be like, can I actually get that cap? And I'll be like, oh, you want the cap off the beer? And you'll be like, yeah, just, there's like a little riddle on it? Oh, no. Yeah, see if you can solve it. If you solve it, I'll give you a bigger tip.
Oh, that connects to our topic too. Let's get into these.
All right.
All right. So,
Hey, did
check
you
us
tell
out.
him to follow me on Twitter?
I'm just getting to it.
Okay, I didn't know. You said we
So
were going to get into
Justin,
the topic.
you interrupted my plug earlier. So
Sorry.
Justin posts on his Twitter at Justin Golak photos of the cap, and you can try to guess the pictogram, and then tell him to leave you alone. You're working
What?
at the bar. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I got it. Like the.
Yeah, and if you answer, he'll give you a virtual high five
Yeah.
and a like on your tweet.
I usually do like the tweet. Sometimes I retweet it. So.
And you can check out all the past episodes.
I actually, and I
of
got it.
Feminist at FemComPod.com.
Got it. Do you want to look at it? It's not very hard. Do you got it?
Yeah.
Or are you just saying that so we'll move on?
No, I got it. That one's easy. That's totally in my league. All right, let's go on to topic 1.
Say the most important one.
Patreon.com
No. That is good
/ LO class no dash. What?
too. Lowclass.com.
Oh, yeah. LO-class.com.
Bam. Now you can go to topic 1.
Okay, so topic 1.
Not micromanaging or anything.
Not at all. Justin Golak
Just
would
help
never
me.
do that. So, have you heard of the company 23andMe?
Yes.
All right, so they recently became the first company to get approval from the Food and Drug Administration to market a genetic test
Okay.
for cancer
Okay.
directly to a doctor's order. You could order from them a test. Let me see. I'll get like.
There's only a few cancers, I think,
It
like a
analyzes,
month, right?
it analyzes short pieces of DNA for genetic variations known as single nucleotide variations associated with specific diseases. Yes, so the 23andMe test only looks for like 3 variants, 2 so-called breast cancer genes. So it's very
I was
like
gonna
it's
say,
not just like general cancer.
I knew
right?
breast cancer had like a marker.
Oh, this also says those types are genes are most commonly found in Jewish women of Eastern European descent. So really, like, if you're already that,
It's
you
just
would already
another-
know. Can I just finish?
Yeah.
So, but the news is that they spent 23andMe, the company, spent $27.9 million on advertising in the first quarter of 2018. So, I'm just interested in, so there's lots of, hold on,
They want your DNA,
let me just give you
dude.
the pro is that it's direct-to-consumer genetics. Companies are leading the way toward more about yourself and intervene if you are test positive for things, right? You can amp up your prevention. Or it can cause considerable mischief because these tests, often the results are misleading or murky, and it's not a lot of very well thought out information. Really, it's to sell you this shit. So my thoughts are just like, I agree with both things. That it's a product, democratization of information and knowledge, right? Those tests are cool. But
I think
I also would never spend money on it just because it's like if I knew I already had a predisposition for it, I would just go to a doctor.
It's also like they're just come up with products. If you don't want to find out if you were actually Italian, now you might want to find out if you have breast cancer, even though you can't really know, and even though you, like you said, like already know because your mom ethnic group that's more prone, so a doctor already ordered a thing. Like it's just another way to rat fuck you out of your DNA, so they can build a database that I'm sure that they'll sell to someone for something, or that they'll put in 10 years. I'm sure that, like, if they sell it to ice within the next decade, and there's no way you're ever gonna get me to fucking my DNA. These motherfuckers.
I knew
no way.
feel that way. And I'm wondering, do you use your finger on your phone like a
Yes.
biometric?
I mean, I know I'm already in the matrix, dude, but
Okay.
you know, like you still have to fight little battles. Like you can't just give it away.
Okay, so that doesn't like you're not worried about that necessarily, but like you're not going to give them your spit to keep
It's
on
still
file.
DNA. You know what I
What are
mean?
you worried they'll do with it?
That's the problem. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's still a fingerprint. While it's been used to solve crimes for a while, and there's some science to it, it's not like literally the blueprint of your being. You know what I mean? It's still like next level. And you were telling me that fucked up thing about how like if you use face recognition or fingerprint, cops can make you open your phone.
Yeah.
But if you have
what's it called? Like a biometric or
but if you have a code, they can't.
Yeah, if you have a PIN code, they can't legally.
You know what I
make
would
you
do though,
open
and
your
I don't
phone.
know. I would have to ask like a lawyer, but I'd still like. Here's my also advice, and I don't know why this isn't taught in schools. Just don't do things. If the police tell you to do something, just don't do it, and then just fight it later. And also lie to them always. Always lie to the police. Never
Oh,
tell them the
Jesus.
truth. Ever.
I just think-
nothing good will ever come from you being honest.
Or don't say anything until you get a lawyer.
Or lie. If they say, "Is this yours?" Be like, "No, it's not." And then what? And then they're stuck. Then they have to prove it's yours.
I mean, do you not want to help an investigation?
No, always lie. Always lie.
Okay.
And yeah, like on my phone, because how I would do is like my phone, it's like I can swipe my finger or enter a code. I have like, because like when I start up my phone, I have to enter the code. Like even if I put my fingerprint, I'll say, since this is a reboot of your operating system, you must enter the code. So I have to enter the code. And also like sometimes like if I'm holding my phone in my right hand, it's like my right pointer finger that swipes. So I'll just use my thumb to enter the code because it's like a short little code. So it's a little easier than the fingerprint. I would just lie if they were like fingerprint because it's true. I could use my fingerprint, but I do use a code. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
that's why
Would you?
try to do.
Oh, okay. So wouldn't even do the one where you test to see where you're from and like what you're. Do you know what I think's kind of
No,
fucked
because
up?
I don't give a
There's
shit.
there's like a commercial. Speaking of advertising for these types of things, I don't know if it's 23andMe or the Ancestry tree, or is that just a website? I don't know. One of them has where they highlight.
I think Ancestry does DNA now, but they were. But now that's not good enough.
Tree
now.
and reason.
Now you got to be in the DNA game too. They've expanded.
Where they tell stories of customers and like how
Yeah.
they found stuff.
Those fucking.
A black guy talking about how he found out he was related to a president.
Who gives a
Thomas
shit?
Jefferson. Well, it's like
That's gross.
gross, right? And like the advertisement made it like had put this like lighthearted spin on it,
Yeah.
and like it was like this is so tone deaf. Clearly, this person's ancestor was raped by our president.
Well, and that's what I've been saying for years is like, if you do 23andMe, it's only because you really have, for some weird reason, just an undying need to find out what part of the world your great 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 grandmother was raped in. That's really what you're finding out. You're like, I didn't know I was 10% Swedish. Yeah, some Swede raped. Like that's why there's only 10%. Like it's crazy that you think that most human history is non-consensual sex. Like we're
Right.
all here because of war crimes committed throughout history, and then like maybe one loving relationship with 150 years. That's all human procreation. It's a shit show. You know what I mean?
Well, and I just feel like at this point we're all kind of mutts, right? Like you're all from like a million different.
It's not real. Like none of this is real. It's still just a rat fuck marketing scheme because they're like, you're a German. It's like that's been a country for 100 years. None of that's real. We're all at
Well, I think it's been a country.
We're all at, but it's not. It was fucking
Turkish Empire, Ottoman.
the Ottoman Empire. That was like World War One. That was the 20th century. You know what I mean? Like the Ottoman Empire like lasted until.
Yeah, but it's so cool to know you're from there. Like why?
But you're not from there. Like, what does that mean from there? I wish just everyone sent in their I was like, I used to fish. Okay, like that's really was fucking goo. And now I have a phone. Now I'm goo with a phone. Cool story. No one's Italian. What the fuck do you think that even means? You're Italian. That's not a real thing. No one's Italian. You know what I mean? Just go up to a tiger. Be like, I'm Italian. Be like, what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. If the tiger could talk, what the fuck's an Italian? You're a person. I'm gonna fucking eat you.
I'm goo with a phone. I know
so
it is.
weird.
There is like a weird. I don't know. I feel like the need for like boundaries and nation states. The sooner we eliminate them, the better our world global community will be, right? So like having this reinforcement of like, well, you're from here. I mean, I get the desire to want to know where your ancestors are from, but like, why? I don't know.
I don't give a shit. I mean, I think culture is relatively dumb too, but I at least get it. But I mean, I do think that's why, like, I mean, I think obsession with race, which is what 23andMe is like a close cousin to racism. Like, it's a good version of racism, it's just benign. Like, if you're asked about Italian, like, it's benign, but it's still a cousin to like being like, and I'm better than other people. You know what I mean? Like that's the problem. Like you said that we face. Like, it's not black people getting killed by the police. Like it is demographically. So I'm not trying to steal that fight from black people in America. But I'm saying for me, it's American citizens being killed by agents of the American government. It's gross to me. So like I'm Italian. It's like I don't care. And I would rather you be an American, but then again, you're just a human fucking being, so I kind of care about you at some base level, / like hold you responsible at some base level, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So it's always just growth, like I'm Italian. It's like, who gives a shit? It's so weird and human. Like, it's such an unevolved monkey thing.
I'm goo with a phone.
That's what it is. Like, I just don't... How long has Italy been a thing? It wasn't. It was like the Roman Empire, then it fell, and then it was a country. It's like, what does that mean you're Italian?
There is something to, I mean, just getting to this, like, thinking of it spiritually, just, who cares? Like, I feel like it's care too much about rooting yourself in that past or your relation to a sect, right? Because that's what you're trying to find. It's to you moving or just having like not having attachments, and that can be material goods, that can be an identity that doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Because all the identity that you have in the present. I mean, I get wanting to again have that foundation of understanding of where you're from, but like it's healthy sometimes.
Everything.
You know what I mean?
You race and culture. It's just sense, and it just weighs you down. It's just shit people thought 100 years ago or longer. Like what? How does that relate to? I mean, to me, that's why I love what America could be. But like that's the problem I have with America is like it's like it should be devoid. Like it should be whatever, a melting pot if you want to use like the hack definition. But the point is, it should be kind of like a culture of democracy, meaning like ever changing, ever evolving, and ever fitting the needs and wants of the populace within it. So to me, like, it's like, I think if you move here, you should want to learn to speak English because most of the stuff we do communicative wise in this society is in English. But I do also hate when someone's like, in America, you speak English. And it's like, yeah, but that's not the official language of this country. So someone should be forced to. And you should act like there is. That's point. I don't think there is an official language of America. Anything official. I don't think there. I mean, again, like look at the foods we eat. It's German food, like black Southern slave era food. You know, like it's fucking it's Asian food. Like but it's like ours now. It's just like whatever we like. And to me, that's why I think like the only real culture, which America like kind of appreciates, but again, like it still gets bogged down by bullshit, and this gets sometimes like manipulated by media and stuff. But like pop culture, as much as it get made fun of, it's the best culture because it's relevant to the people in its time, and then it's thrown away and replaced with more relevant stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's and then the idea like, oh, like this is just something that's new and like a flash in the pan. It's like, no, it's not. It speaks to the time. It reflects the time. It speaks to the people in the time across kind of racial and cultural lines, popular to a certain people.
Mm.
But then, like, when some this is something we've been doing for 5,000 years. It's like, I don't. Why would I care about that? Why would I care about what someone 5,000 years ago thought? That's not even a world that's remotely relevant to the world of today.
Well, it's cool to know tradition.
No, I think
I like
tradition is
I like the
garbage.
idea of instead of term melting pot, we're a flash in the pan culture, just changing our utensil.
I think it's almost like it's a democracy of culture. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think English is the language we speak just because, like, that's kind of the language we started with. So it makes sense that it would kind of perpetuate. But it's like, I don't know, like, if enough people, again, not got together, like, as a political movement, but just out of just a natural evolution, if more people were speaking Spanish, like I'd learn Spanish to get by, or like whatever. I'd make sure my kids learned it or whatever. But I don't think something like that would happen. But again, like our norms and just like the kind of music we're into and the holidays we saw. That's why it's like I don't know. To me, it's like yeah, dude. Like we don't have to. Like like the idea of like I like the idea. Like I know it's like kind of thought of as like corny and leftist, and I get where you could see that, and I don't disagree with that fully, but I would say that I kind of like the idea of like, yeah, we don't do Columbus Day anymore, Indigenous People Day. It's like, yeah, because I think that's all we've agreed on as Americans. It's like, dude, I want a Monday off in fucking whatever month Columbus Day. You know what I mean? But yeah, we could, if a new thing makes the day better, like it makes it more relevant, let's just make that the day. Like it's just the democracy of ideas of like, yeah, we don't want to celebrate that guy anymore. I don't even mind if we change Thanksgiving since we're literally all hip to the idea that it wasn't what we've been told it was.
Right.
Like let's just call it fucking Turkey Day.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Or
Like
I think we should make bigger national holidays out of like Juneteenth when things like that. Other important moments of American
just
history
give
are a
them,
little more.
just give them President's Day.
We're celebrating.
You could call it Juneteenth. It doesn't need to be in June though. Just give them President's Day. Or I guess we could get rid of President's Day, do that in June.
Just swap.
But we already have June. That's what I'm saying. There's still logistical things, but I don't care. Like if we start celebrating like different days. I mean, Martin Luther King. Like we just decided, like, yeah, that's the guy we should.
Get it off. We should.
Some people do. Sure. Some people do, right?
I mean,
like
government.
schools and stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that's my point. Is like that's what I've always liked about America. That it's like through kind of the democracy of ideas, like you get relevant stuff.
I guess
because it's just like people are leading it. You know what I mean? Just like the people in the moment are leading it by what they want, and we don't have this like you know what I mean? Like we've only been around like 200 years. You don't have that kind of like Greek or fucking French thing of like we've done this since the 1500s and you want us to be like, who gives a shit?
Well, what I was saying about I don't necessarily think tradition is worth celebrating. I do think though historical motivations for these types of traditions or cultures is important to know. Do you know what I mean? Like where
well, example me.
Well, I think just knowing your history. Like I can't even example you. Like it's literally all of human history. There are things to be learned from. We just watched the Vietnam War documentary series. Like knowing that.
But that's different. I wouldn't equate cultural tradition to learning.
Actually Vietnam, that is like how I think culturally we changed for the better in terms of the like memorialization of them. We watched the last episode last night and it was like about the Vietnam Wall and how people didn't get it at first, but it ended up representing everything to everyone because patriotism is such a complicated thing, right? That all we can really agree on is that these people deserve to be remembered, no matter where you stand on either side of it. So I think like
Yeah.
that's a really cool example of.
But I think you're kind of agreeing. I'm saying, like, to me, we would have this, like, thousands year old tradition of, like, they are soldiers, they have heroes, they go to a special place in heaven, or whatever heaven is for the culture of the time. And then the Vietnam changed that, where it's like they're not heroes, and they're not brave, but this is complicated, and you can feel that way and still respect them and still love the country. And it's just more complicated now, like you said. But, like, to me, that's what I'm saying is, like, to make that assertion, you had to break, I mean, world, but specifically American thinking about the war. And that's my point is, like, I wish we didn't even have to break that at the start. I wish we could just address the moment with a relatively clean slate. And if it's not a clean slate, at least it's a slate that's influenced by the experiences of, like, the people alive and what they've experienced just in their lifetime, and not some experiences from someone 8 lifetimes ago and what they thought. It just seems less relevant to me. So, yeah, I don't give a fuck if I'm from fucking Sweden. I don't give a shit.
Where are you from?
I don't know, and I don't care. I'm a fucking American. And more importantly, I'm a fucking human being.
Goo with a phone.
Fucking goo, baby. The phone.
Goo with a Lone Star. All right, let's move on to topic 2.
It was a good topic. Do you feel like you have anything else to say? I know I got off on my thing.
Now I'm thinking about a more memorial and just how I just thought it was interesting to hear one veteran say he didn't want to go at first because he felt like, I guess I've thought a lot about this aspect of it. He said that before he first time and like really felt its power, like he thought it seemed like it was saying that only the people who died deserve to be remembered, and it as victims rather than heroes. I just thought that was really, I had never thought of it like that. Maybe because I did think of them as victims of our government.
Yeah.
It's fucking missed trying to figure out how to be alive with a million other humans, right? But, and then, when he went and he goes back every year, and he didn't even go into too much detail about how it changed, but, like, he just understood viscerally the power of that memorial. It was guys, go watch that series. It's on Netflix now. Ken Burns, Vietnam.
For sure.
Topic
All right,
2.
Topic 2. District of Columbia, Initiative 77. It passed basically 55% to 44%. That is an initiative that in the District of Columbia will raise the wage of tipped workers to that equal to the minimum wage for all hourly employees. So basically, I mean, any state I've lived in.
Is it just in D.C.?
This particular initiative. Yeah, but I think it'll probably get traction other places, and there actually are states where this is true now. I believe Nevada, Montana, and I think there's one other one. Every state I've been has been like this, so I'm familiar with it. If you're a tipped worker in DC, before this initiative, you were paid a minimum wage of $3.30 because it was expected that you made tips, and that would cover the difference between and minimum wage. And if it didn't, like, your employee would have to compensate, or your employer would have to compensate you. The minimum wage in Washington D.C. right now is currently $12.50 an hour, and that will go up to $15 an hour by 2020. As far as Initiative 77, right now, I don't know exactly when this will take effect, but relatively soon, tipped workers will be making $5 an hour, and by 2026, they will be making $15 an hour, just like their normal hourly waged counterparts. So
it's sort of a slow reveal.
Yeah, but most of these wage,
now.
there's been some minimum wage, like regular just minimum wage initiatives that have passed in the last few elections, and they're all kind of structured like this, which I think makes sense. You get, like, it's usually 5 years, sometimes 10 years.
It gives the restaurant owners a chance to change
it's
their
a couple
prices, catch
couple
up
bucks
the business model.
Yeah, a couple bucks a year until it hits 15 is usually what most people do. So, obviously, like, restaurant owners don't like this because now they have to do the awful, horrendous, unspeakable thing of paying an hourly wage the same as literally every other business in
Yeah.
existence. So I know how
How
awful.
awful.
But they've been against it, and they've been kind of. I feel like again a lot of rat fucking in this episode. I feel like they've been trying to rat fuck um, their employees by kind of telling them like if this passes, like you're not like basically they've been kind of lying. Um, Kind of by omission and just saying like, well, this is going to be the end of tipping for you, and obviously people get jobs because they like can make a
They
ton of
make a lot of
money,
money. Yeah.
and so like, oh, they're going to get rid of my tips. That's not worth an extra $5 an hour. No, I'm against this. Most people, most servers and other tipped employees have been smart enough to kind of see the fucking rat fucking for what it is, and the fact is like, people can still tip. People are still encouraged to tip, but I don't know. I guess
Because
there's a
there
fear.
are places in America where in cities where this is going on and people still get
Yeah.
tipped and make
Well, and it's
still
just
make
like
an
I mean,
adequate.
I don't know. It's like people are afraid, like, oh well, if people's bill goes up, then people won't tip, and it's like, well, I mean, if you're making more an hour, if you get less tips, you'll probably still be making. If you make what everyone else makes, and you even make a few extra bucks an hour, you're still making more than the average person. I don't know. Here's my thoughts: is I guess I just want to talk in general. What do you think about tipping? And I feel like we're, as a society, we're going away from tipping culture and into a fair pay culture. I think it's extremely positive. I think there's been plenty of models that show people make just as much as they did, if not more. Um, with un when tip jobs convert into untipped jobs in the models I've seen, they always end up making just as much or more as they were making, and now it's a secured living compared to what they were making. Meaning, like, if fucking people don't come in because of something,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's summer coming in. Oh, I just made $3 an hour. You know what I mean? I can't feed my blah 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 or pay my blah blah blah. So it's a more secure thing. It's equal to what you're making. It seems like a win-win. But I don't know. What do you think about tipping? You used to serve and you care about people, and
Yeah.
you go to restaurants, and so like, what do you think about
No,
it as a consumer, as a worker? What do you think
I'm
about
for sure pro this. I
tipping?
think that yeah, like I was reading some reports where it's been full minimum wage does not reduce growth and in fact helps spur growth in these fields. But just personal, like from my own personal experience, I think that tipping, sure, there are certain restaurants where and places where you could make a lot of money, more than $15 an hour, maybe some tips, right? But I think that for most people who are on a tipped salary, you're working in a low income restaurant or just like, do you know what I mean, like a working class place, right? And so you're not going to make that sort of money that these, high end white tablecloth places are making. So I just feel like this is a much more fair model. I think that it gives more power to the worker of being able to have leverage if you want to leave, if you're being harassed or discriminated against, like I just so when I worked at Applebee's and I made $2.12 an hour, and then plus tips, and I didn't make many tips, but I was a shitty waitress. But I knew people there who there were some. I mean, like I'll never shit on servers. Like I, there were women there who I'm like, you are so good at your job, and they had been servers there for like 10 years and like had been in that industry forever. Like it is a skill set that I do not have. That grace under pressure, that being able to deal with people and smile through bullshit, and just like the multitasking brain that a server or bartender requires. So this is like skilled labor. I feel. I think that it's a very skilled position. But anyway, what was I saying? I just think it's fair to offer that.
I just
And
think,
how many more
yeah.
fucking restaurants do we need on bar rescue? Like, if this results in less people being able to open a shitty restaurant that doesn't succeed, that they have their trash bag
Well,
25-year-old son running
yeah.
in a case of nepotism,
Sounds like you're
like
thinking about very specific bar rescue episodes.
fish heads. Yeah. Like, how many
Well,
more
but
of those
also
do we
I
need?
just
Whatever.
like I mean, to me this is like so many other political issues where it's every counter argument is just like it's without any reason, or like it literally can be dispelled with like, yeah, but this, and it's like, you're like, people always like, well, if we have to pay people more, our prices are going to go up, and it's like, prices are already up. Like the point is,
Yeah.
if you sell me a $10 piece of chicken and it's socially mandated, now I could fucking just not tip, right? I could do that. There's a comic I know, McCartney, who's super funny, and she has a joke that not tipping, like basically like not tipping is, I forget exactly, I'm gonna butcher it, but something like not tipping is a discount I get for being an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, so okay, you could not tip. You could always not tip. It is completely optional. But the point is, most people tip. Most people tip 20%. So the fact is, if you sell me a $10 piece of chicken, it's a $12 piece of chicken. So if you say, well, if I have to pay my workers $50 an hour, that chicken's going to be $12. It's already $12. Just charge me $12. Let me just sign the receipt instead of doing math on it. And then everyone's happy, right? The server makes a living wage. I don't fucking, I know exactly what I'm paying for. And you've raised your prices to meet your overhead. How is that not fixing? And again, like, I don't understand, like, if you have to pay your worker more, why would you have to raise your prices more than the standard tipping amount? Raise it 20%. Raise it 25%. I listen to this Freakonomics with the guy who does Shake Shack. He also has a couple like high end, like, sit at table server restaurants too. And the one he has, he got rid of tipping. He was like, no more tipping. You are. It's like he told the customer, you are not allowed to tip. No tipping allowed. Um, I don't think there was like a punishment, but it wasn't this thing of like gratuity included. And you know how somebody like standard gratuity included, but there's always a slot like you can add more. It was like none of that. It was like, don't tip. Please do not tip. It is included. And his thing was he paid his servers a living wage. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was something like between 12 and 15, depending on how long you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a sales percentage bonus added. So it was still like if you're working a Saturday shift and you're super busy, you're kind of working a little harder than people working the Tuesday afternoon shift. And so you got a percentage of sales kicked back to you if you were front of the house. So if you're a server, and literally they did it for I think 2 or 3 months, and they talked to the server and they were pretty much like, yeah, I make as much as I did while getting tipped, and in some cases maybe like a little bit more, not like a ton more, but a little bit more. And basically he said like, yeah, we had to raise our 20%, that no more than 20%, and it's fine. Everyone's happy. The restaurant experience is streamlined. Like, it's fine. It works. We could literally do this fucking everywhere.
Well, and that would make your customer experience so much better, because think about how, if I need help in my session, a fellow server is going to help me out. I mean, we'll probably help out your teammate anyway, but like when you think of it as a team, you're going to, you know what I mean? Like provide service to all the customers in the restaurants when you have time or if you can, and make sure everyone has a good experience so you're selling more, because then you're getting that whole percentage, right?
Well, it's still, yeah, and it's still a service industry. Like the idea that because you might leave them $5 or you might leave them no dollars, that's what's like, I know servers are extra, like I know they're trying to get tips, right? So there's, like they, but they're still at the mercy of their employer. Like literally it's like, again, just all they're doing is catching up to literally every other job on this planet. So the idea is, well, if you don't tip them, you're just going to get shitty service. Goodbye, good service. And it's like, if someone is just completely shitty to me, you know what I mean? I mean, maybe not me, because I'm not one of these people, but there's plenty of people that if someone's consistently shitty to the customer's going to be like, hey, I just want to talk to a manager. I just had, Sally, she was my server, and she was like really rude, and like we asked for this thing 10 times, we didn't get it, blah, blah. Like, she still could get fired or reprimanded by her employer, and that would incentivize her to be a good server. Or just the general idea, I don't know, people like to be good at their job so they can advance in it or get a better job in the future.
Or I'm going to try harder if I don't feel like I'm dependent on you.
or maybe you'll just be relaxed. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Maybe it's not always rudeness. Maybe people forget dressing because they're trying to remember to smile, and they have this other table that needs their fries well done, and they got to make sure they get that. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's just like the idea that tipping is the only incentive for quality service. It's just weird because it's still a job that if you don't do well, you could lose, and that would make your life worse.
Moreover, people won't come back, and you're reliant on that repeat business, right, or word of mouth.
Well, because when the restaurant shuts down, you don't have a job. Or like you want, like that's what I said. If you do a small sales percent, there's still incentive to be the best server, so you get the busier servers compete for tips now. I think having that sales, just doing a living wage, it just makes everything easier.
I would just love, and I would love as a consumer to someone was being paid fairly, because I feel like it taps into my codependency issue. I have to tip someone because I'm like, here's $20. Do you know what I mean? Like, it would be so much better for me if
I just think like
I was at the dentist this week, and
tip him?
No, but I felt like because I was like, she did work. She made me feel so comfortable when she injected my mouth with good, like.
But then I think like we should give everyone, from fucking baristas to men to hairdressers, masseuses, whatever. Like that's my whole. I go. That's with I don't. Is 20% for everything? Because like I'll go get a massage. You know what I mean? Like I'll get a massage. It's usually like an hour. It's like $7. So then like I don't know, like 20%, 14. I feel like I usually do 15 or 20. You know, so I'm just like, just put a sign that says no tipping, thank you though, and then just make your fucking menu a $90 massage. And I'm like, I don't know, that's like not too. So I'd be like, yeah, that's about what I pay, all things considered.
Yeah.
Like it seems like this kind of like antiquated marketing idea. Like, heck, only $5.99. Really, it's $15 if you're not an asshole or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's like just tell me the fucking price and I'll decide. Because like it all comes down. How many times have you seen Twitter about like if you don't have enough money to tip, you don't have enough money to go out and eat? It's like, well, just tell me how much the steak costs, and I can look at my budget. Just make it simple. Just make it simple. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I mean, I think like I remember this story fucking pissed me off because it's like I think I'm a good tip because it's like as much as I think the world needs to fucking change in this aspect, I'm not gonna like sacrifice some working person's living. My point. You know what I mean? I'll just rally against it publicly and politically, but in the meantime, I'll give you your fucking tip. And I'm always asking, like, I'll ask people, like, I got, because I never know what to tip. Bellhops. And I have a buddy who's a bellhop, and I was like, just tell me, honestly, like, how much should I be tipping? Like, because like, I'm just your friend. You know, don't give me the answer. Give me, like, what you would be happy with, what you'd be pissed off with. And he said, $1 a bag. I was like, that's it? He's like, yeah. He's like, that's kind of what you expect. I have no problem with that. If you have, like, 2 rolly bags, $1 for that, $2 for that. Give me, if you got heavy, an extra $1. He's like $1 a bag. I was like, okay, I don't even know because you're not buying anything. It's not a massage. At least you could do 20%, but you're like, is that too much? Or like 10%, or should I do 50%? They're touching my naked body. Like, I don't know, but at least it's even worse. Do I pay you based on? There's nothing to base it off of. I do like. I do just get annoyed of like this is why tipping sucks. Is these situations. I got fucking pissed, and I kind of like just had this standoff with this guy, and he like huffed off, and I was like, I don't give a fuck, because I had my car parked in the little like roundabout in front of the hotel entrance when in Vegas. Yeah. It was like we have early check, and so like I pull up, I know I have early check-in, so I at 10 a.m. 10:15, and so I pull up. There's traffic. There's like it's not cars coming in a little rotunda because it's not check-in time, and it you know what I mean, like check-in time would be later, and we're even early for checkout time, which is new. So I pull in, And I'm like, do you need your car valeted? I'm like, no, I'll just self it. Like I knew we'd have to get it out at some point. I'm like, I'm just gonna my keys. I'll just self park it. And I say, I'm just gonna go check in. I will be right back in 5 minutes. I will self park the car. And he goes, and I was like, we'll be right back. And I you with the car, and I know all these guys. Was there a cars coming in? There's and they right. They're like, just let me park the car. Just let me. I remember I came out and I was pissed because keys. I come out far away, and I'm like, did you? Because there was some stuff I wanted to get out, and luckily they got everything. But they just took the car, valeted it, and they just you said you're like, I don't know, I fucking bullied. I'm like, yeah, because they're fucking pieces of shit. But what? I'm not gonna take it out, you know. And then I was like, boom, and they're like, you're like, yeah, I gave them because I think maybe I told you like buck a bag. I told you this story about my friend before, and that's why we had like 2 bags. You're like, yeah, I gave him like 3. All right, cool. And so what they do is they park the car, your bag on one of those like things. So dude takes the stuff out, puts it on a roll, they give you a ticket. And they say, all right, when you get into your room, call this number, tell them you're in, they'll bring your bags up to you. There was a guy that did this. I saw him, came back out, and then go up to the room, I read it, and I go, okay, yeah, we're here, my bags can come up here. Different guy comes up with the bags, and then, you know, it's kind of like, is there any, you know, kind of, he's just standing in the doorway, like, anything else I can do for you? I'm like, and like, I know what he's waiting for. Nope, we're good, thanks. And he just goes, and just like, kind of, like, doesn't like slam the door, but just like, kind of just like lets it slam and like huffs out. And I'm like, dude, like, I believe in tipping, but this tip is stupid because you use it to like scam people. Like, your buddy unloaded the car, put a rolly thing, you brought the roll thing up, but you completed one job. You one person does. Right. You split it between people to try to get full tips.
Yeah.
Literally what you did. I know that's what you did. So I don't fuck. That's not me being cheap.
Right.
That's you trying to scam, and I know you fucking did. Also, like, I self-parked it and myself. We had 2 bags. A girl who didn't really know what was going on, who didn't know where her husband was at the time because he was checking in.
I didn't really
you
even
played
know
off
what you
confusion
to
to fuck us.
Yeah.
Just bully us. And now, again, like, to valet the car, when, again, I'm being cheap, it's like I didn't valet it to get out of shipping, but, again, I knew I'd need the car the next day. So I'm like, I'll just self-park it. And now you're going to come up here with my car, want $1 for bringing the car back up when I told you I didn't want it. You weren't trying to get it out of the way. There weren't cars. It just, that's my point. It's just like, give these, and that's my point. It's not like I'm trying to be some fucking elitist fuck. I'm saying, give these guys $15 an hour and let them just do their job.
Yeah.
And if they fuck up, they fuck up. I don't care. But at least, like, I'm not paying literally, you know, $5, $7 extra because of their fuck up or their bullying or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just get what they get. That's my point. It's like, that's when I want, quote unquote, bad service. What they provided us that day was bad because it was bullying. It was kind of scammy. I want bad service the other way, where it's like, if I some guy to be like, all right, man, one less thing I have to do.
Right.
You know, tipping makes everything awkward and weird, and no one knows what to do. And the point, for every time doesn't know what to do and just give guys a 20 because they're not sure, they get fucked. And not me taking a stand, but people that just don't know. They're like, I don't think we have to tip that guy. Oh, who gets tipped? I don't know. You know what I mean? Pay people a fucking working wage.
Yeah, it's like fair.
Get rid of this
it's
bullshit.
fair all around. It's fair for them
around.
and it's fair for us as a consumer.
And it's like you said, why aren't we tipping this then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's the level?
I know.
We don't tip McDonald's employees. You know, that's, again, an argument that's been up, but it's sound. They make shit money. And that's my point. Again, I'm not an asshole. I'm a lefty. Pay the McDonald's guy $15 an hour, too. Just pay everyone $15 an hour. Let them work their way up to 20, and let's just end this shit. And also, let's fucking give people health care. So $20 actually is a fucking living.
Just knowing that, so like I worked in a retail shop where we weren't supposed to take tips. Or it just wasn't standard procedure, right? Like, it just was built into the candle price. Like, this is how much you pay. Like, but you could make your own candle. So basically, you were like serving them candle juices. You know, like you were working with them one-on-one. But I thought you weren't allowed to take tips because we tip jar, like none of that shit. Like it was high end. Like, no, this is just what you pay. But people would try to give you things because they felt they didn't know. Like I think they thought I'm in like a bar pouring candles. Like here's a tip. I would always turn it down, and then eventually I learned that like, people I worked with would accept
Oh,
tips.
for sure.
And I'm like, oh man, like now I just feel trying to be like, an ethical worker, but it turns out we can just don't make a deal about it. Like I don't know. So it just sort of felt like I feel like I got screwed by the system.
Right. But you got screwed by the fact that it's like no one knows.
It's unclear.
No one fucking knows.
Yeah.
And it'd be better if everyone knew that we don't do it anymore at minimum wage that's legal. So even if someone's making a minimum amount of money that they're allowed to be paid, even if they happen to be running into, you don't have to feel bad about it because what that amount is okay. Hopefully they're making even more than that.
It's just so incredibly unstable working from that model too as a worker. Like I just remember, being a server, like I had no idea what my general income would be. It just depended on what shifts I got and depended on who came in. It depended. I remember I had my worst story was when I had fucking 20 top, people.
And this was
Applebee's. They were a nightmare. Kids, crayons everywhere. You know what I mean? Like a million special orders, right? And it took up it ate into 3 hours of my time night, and 20 top that takes up a whole section. So that was like the one of like 2 tables I was working 3 hours. So, and then at the end of the day, they're like, "Oh, we'll just do one check." And I was like, "Hell yeah, that's awesome," because then I don't have to split it all up. But so I gave the guy the check, and I heard him talking with another guy who was foreign, but they were saying how one of them fighting over who would leave the tip because one guy paid, right? So he was trying to make a show of like, "Oh no, since you bought the dinner, like I'll leave the tip because we're trying." So there's this weird interaction between them of like, "Oh, we have responsibility for paying for this, like you can't pay for it yourself." Well, then no one tipped because I think they just had I think they had a miscommunication, or they were dicks, but I think moreover it was just a miscommunication of one guy thought, I'm sure they're like, no, I got it. Okay, thank you. Oh, you know what I mean? Like it probably just wasn't clear as to who was tipped.
So basically you made $3 an hour.
We did have the thing where over a certain amount I would get gratuity, but here's another thing that's fucked up. You, as a server, I could have the option just take that off because it was a gamble, because sometimes you would make more money. Do you know what I mean? Right. Like if you didn't have built in, people,
so it's literally
people would tip
you're like,
more.
all right, let's gamble on that.
I had been great to them actually, because I was a really bad server, but I did really great with that table and had been awesome to them all night, and they seemed to like me and told me they had had a great time. Like they would have tipped a lot, so I was like, okay, give the gratuity and just do whatever, let them treat me nice. And then no one tipped, and I was like, I just fucking wasted 3 hours. I maybe got $2 2 tops the rest of the night at that other table that I had in the section, but I was like, that sucks. Like a whole night of working my ass off, a physically laborious job,
just for not.
Yeah. So you're relying on that so much, and again, like I said, I don't just mean discrimination or harassment from employers, you know what I mean, where you're fearful of your job because it's so financially unstable, but you could experience that with customers too. And not that I experienced it from that table, but there have been situations where guys would say gross, but you kind of be like, please tip me well.
Yeah.
You just have to you feel
it
so
does
beholden.
Empower you because now you don't have to.
Yeah,
sometimes that is an argument that's unspoken about. Like you're gonna get shit service if you you get rid of tipping. It's like maybe some people don't deserve good service.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're right. You just feel more empowered to say something to them or to just not come back to their table because fuck that. Like here's your bill, brah. Yeah. All right. Well, actually, you know what? The worst tippers I know though are old people, and that was a legit stereotype. You'd get, and they just are up age where they think, not age but time. When to them $2 is money, and that's just the standard. You just
And
bucks on
just
everything.
yeah, I mean fix. Yeah, you're just gonna get fucked.
When their hearts, they're really good people, but terrible. And like, I went out to eat with them last time I was home with my mom, and I was like, meal because I was like, it was Lent.
So you could leave
it
the
was
tip?
Lent Friday. Yeah, so I could leave the tip. It was Lent Friday. My sweet grandpa brought like he ordered a cheese sandwich and own onion in a baggie to put sandwich.
So wait, he just had a sandwich that was just cheese and onion,
Yeah, and
like raw onion.
yeah,
Dude,
he told the waitress
old
about
people
how
eat the weirdest
he
shit.
told the waitress how the or is it server now, is that the politically correct term, but like he told the server that like he like the onions there. So he brought his own, and he totally means well and is just trying to like have the best experience, but it's always layered with condescension, and I always like mortified. So I'm always like, it's totally fine, girl. Just bear with it. Just take the, and then I'm gonna fucking tip you really good. You know what I mean? She was such a good like trooper about it. Like clearly, it was a Bob Evans, so clearly she deals with these type of people all the time. And
Oh.
so, yeah, so I like took the check and was like, no, I finally am earning money now. I will buy you dinner. And like, I did buy them dinner, but also it was mostly because I'm like, this poor lady, let me give you a really good tip.
Yeah, man, my family and I had friends that worked at this one Bob Evans, and I worked there as like a dishwasher for the summer. But I worked usually when they were working. It was like Saturday and Sunday, like open to like 1 p.m. or some shit. So it was like, especially on Sundays, it was banging, but Saturdays also banging. You know, like the after church, Saturday Sunday breakfast at Bob Evans,
Yeah.
banging. But it was a mix. Like in general, they fucking killed it. You know what I mean? They worked literally like, but the breakfast, like they would get in, servers would get in at 6, set up. I think we opened at like 6:30 or 7, and then yeah, they were gone. They were eating and going home by 11:30 because that's when like it started to slow down. You know, the ones that started the latest, the ones that like came in at 7 or whatever, maybe they'd stay till like 1. Would just make like tons of fucking money because it was just bang, bang, bang. But they probably could have made more if it wasn't because they all had regulars who they would just order like it's coffee and toast. It would be like $3.78, and they just throw $4 down or like a lot of like change based tips and stuff. So it's like
Totally.
they did well, so brutal. Just some of the tips, you're really like
that refresher
muscling down
is,
that drink.
it's no good. The carbonation is, and it you know what it tastes like? Oh my god, I just fucking thought of it. It's juicy juice. Do you remember those little juice box drinks? Yeah. That's what that tastes like. I can't drink it anymore.
Juicy juice is kind of okay though.
I'm not a child. I'm a Starbucks woman.
Okay, take topic 3.
All right, so topic 3. Final topic. Okay, so for a BBC special, anatomist Alice Roberts created a physical 3D reproduction of what if evolution created the perfect human body, what it would look like.
Look like you, boo.
Oh, Justin. You're going to get it. I'm going to get a tip tonight.
Are you talking about my penis?
Yeah, penis tip.
In your vagina?
In my vagina.
Or mouth?
No.
Mouth, vagina, mouth?
Don't.
Favorite is mouth, vagina, finish.
Stop.
Combo.
Okay.
There's nothing better than vagina to mouth. Oh, then vagina.
Oh, God.
I know a lot of girls don't like doing that because they have to taste vagina.
Okay.
But goddamn, it is just a treat.
So
just advice
this
out there,
human
ladies.
model. Here's what it had. It had large eyes, a chimp's lower back, the legs of an emu, small pumps in her thighs to help blood circulation, and a breastless chest. Within her lies a dog's heart, the graceful lungs of a swan, and to make childbirth easier, a marsupial pouch. And the video of this is just hilarious because it's so scary. It's like a little baby's elfin head popping out of her stomach where her belly button should be. 9 legs.
The pouch is like a cavity? I found that out like 5 or 6 years ago, but way too recently.
Versus what?
I just assumed it was like a pot, like you had a belly, and then there was
Little
like a furry and like a pocket.
like in your hoodie.
But no, it's like a hole in your body that your baby goes in. It's like a cavity, kind of.
That's cool.
It's like kind of probably mucusy and gross, though. I thought it'd be like a cozy little pocket.
It's a little cocoon. It's not a fuzzy pocket.
So the baby come out of the pocket too, and then they hang out in there
I
for a
think
while.
so. They probably are like, I don't know if they're still gestating. I didn't watch the video because it was creepy looking.
Okay.
You guys can Google it. But so my question for topic 3 is, what traits would you take from other animals or species to create your perfect body?
You know, dude, I'm kind of just a dumb dude. You know, in a lot of ways. Like if I just get to my core,
You are.
I like leaning
I
into
just would
it
like
too.
a penis.
No, but I was thinking, like, you know what I would like? Just like, just. Oh, that's so creepy. I can see the little video. I pulled it up. That baby just looks weird
It's
too.
so weird.
Ugh.
It looks like a
And it's
little
just like-
leprechaun with elf ears coming out of her belly button.
That's weird. All right. Anyways, I guess the baby looks weird because the new human, you know what I mean? It's the baby is based off what the new human is, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I get it.
that's why he
Oh,
has pointy ears.
That's so creepy looking.
I think her legs are super
What
weird.
is supposed to be again? Why are
Like bat echolocation? Oh, is that
echolocation?
Yeah.
Breasts though? Lame, gay, giving them titties.
I don't know why I'd get rid of this though, because it's a vulnerable. Maybe it feeds another way. You're like not a man. I don't know.
It's like, come on, can't some of the body just be fun? All right, so basically, my point is, I would like to just be a giant silverback gorilla, but with my brain. I think that would be fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
I just want to be a big old fucking just
What-
alpha
why?
gorilla.
Why?
I just want to be a big old murder machine, but like smart. Like I can have discussions about genetics. I just want to be a gorilla with a
R.I.P. Coco.
yeah. I want to be a gorilla with a podcast. That's like my dream. It's like a podcast, but
and
just
like a soft spot for
but I'm just
kitchen.
like 7'3", like 350 pounds, covered in hair, with just like giant fucking mitts.
You're like a Pixar movie.
Yeah, I just want to like
You-
climb trees and just fucking rip things to shreds with my bare hands, just beat on my chest, and then just
I'm kind of into it.
and then just talk about the evolution of democratic politics on the left.
That's funny. Okay, good pick. I also want to keep my human brain.
Yeah, I mean the human brain is tight.
For sure. The human brain has the
But
best.
yeah, I don't need to look like one of those elfin creatures. Just make me a fucking gorilla.
Here's what I would want, though. I have 3 other requirements. I would want to be able to jump like a puma.
Okay, can they jump?
Yeah, dude. They to jump.
But not high. They jump like
15. No. 15 feet.
fucking dunk,
so
dude.
cool, man. And 40 feet. That's awesome. Because I was thinking about speed, but then I'm like, I don't really care about speed. If I can
Yeah, why do
jump,
you want to jump though?
because I can get away from people really easily and like feel like I'm jumping. Although this sort of it kind of it like sort of cancels out my second one though. I want to also have the aerial acrobatics of a hummingbird. Did you know that they they're the only birds that can like fly backward and hold on, let me look it up.
Yeah, so why do you need to jump if you can fly?
I know, that's backward and upside down. They can fly like that. Just 'cause I'm going to be fucking having fun while you beat stuff, I can like jump away and like fly crazy. Oh, and here's
That
my
is
other one.
so us that I want to be like an alpha predator.
And I
you
wanna,
wanna,
like, get
you,
away.
You want to be like the best prey ever. But you don't want to not
I'm
be
not
the
prey.
Well, you're talking about jumping and flying. I mean, you're picking like predator animals like a
Mostly-
panther,
no,
but or
No,
a puma,
mostly
but,
I'm picking like
but you're
cool-
trying to get away.
I'm basically picking cool things to enjoy my hybrid life.
Oh, okay.
But well, you know what? Yeah, maybe I am just afraid of being prey
That's what I'm
because
saying. Like
my
it goes into your
my last one is cephalopods have jet propulsion, which means that they can be propelled through the water at a rate of up to 25 miles per fucking hour.
Yeah, you just want to run from
I
stuff.
want to be able. Well, here's the thing. Here's what my thinking was. If I am in a state of nuclear holocaust where I am picking up animal traits, I'm probably going to be being attacked, right? So
No,
all
but
of
I
these
want to pick up the gorilla traits. I want to fight back.
Oh, see all of these. Well, I'm gonna survive and not maim myself in a fight, and then create a new world with my
Well,
human
whatever.
brain.
Who's gonna be out there getting the fucking food for your little scared flying backwards
No,
ass?
that's not true at all, Justin. These things all feed themselves with those skill traits. Skill traits. Hyphenated.
I'm a scientist. More women in STEM, please.
Now, how fun would it be? That I just can't you just see me like jet propulsing through the water from my like my butt? It's like I'm in like a little seat.
Yeah, I've seen you do that in the pool after eating too many beans. All right, good topic. Take us home.
All right, you guys, thanks. This has been another episode of A Feminist and a Comedian Walking into a Bar. Thank you for joining us. You
Whoop, whoop.
can check out all of our past
I think
episodes
I whoop whoop like an ICP concert.
on FemComPod.com. And you can see all of our content at lowclass.com. That's lo-class.com. You can follow comedian Justin Golak, who you've heard here, and check out his Lone Star bottle cap technique and to see if you can figure out the fucking riddle tomorrow at Justin Golak on Twitter.
I mean, it's not tomorrow. It's tomorrow of now.
Well, tomorrow of now. Basically,
you're listening
just
to
go
it,
to
it's
his,
up there.
Go to his Twitter at Justin Golak and send him your dick pics to justin@justingolak.com. Do you have any stuff coming up you want to plug?
Just justingolak.com. I got my dates up there.
Cool.
Pretty updated. I'll check it and I'll add some if I need to. I got some stuff in July and August, so come out and see a show in
Cool.
Chicago.
And just a reminder, on lowclass.com, you can watch his latest album, American Apathy.
Boom.
I've been Jackie Manti.
What?
JackieManti.com.
Nope.
Send me your tip pics, Jackie@JackieManti.com. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JackieManti. Or no, I'm on Twitter.
Yeah,
Jesus,
I thought you
Justin,
switched
You
it.
were like on it.
Well, I thought maybe you switched it. I was
Twitter,
excited.
I'm at Jackie_Manti. I was an early adopter of Twitter and didn't know to not get my, when we didn't know not to
Is
have
there
an
a
underscore
Jackie
at that
Manti
point.
already now?
I don't know. I should probably take it.
Well, now you just Jackie_ everywhere anyway, so I
No,
wouldn't
I'm
switch it
not.
at this point.
I'm
I just mean like you have 68 episodes of that, so if someone listens to an old episode,
okay.
they might not be able to find you. I think
I
you
get
just
what
got to
you're
lean
saying.
into
Okay.
it now.
So check us out, lo-class.com, and you can also give us some money to help fund all of this cool shit you just listened to and all that content you get at low class at patreon.com/loclass no dash.
You can get fucking merch. You can contribute questions to the pod.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever level you get bonus episodes, we already got like 3 up there and more coming soon.
It's good stuff.
Yep.
All right. We're going to go pretend to be gorillas and goo.
Oh, there's going to be goo. All right, bye.
Bye.